Had mentioned this organization called the Perkins Institute that is for people with CVI. I decided, you know what, I'm going to go look on there and see what's new. And I just kind of refreshed my own understanding and knowledge about cortical vision impairment. And I ran across this thing where it said that students with CVI benefit from a multisensory curriculum so that they've got more than just the visual sense going in to be able to learn. And I knew that in my gut, and I had actually asked during one of the ARD meetings last year, I asked for the ARD committee to consider a multisensory curriculum for reading. I was a dyslexia specialist. That's one of the things one of my titles. And I used a Orton Gillingham system of teaching students with dyslexia. And oh my gosh, it's wonderful. And it really works. And it's so fun to see that child go from not being able to read hardly at all, and definitely not on grade level, to go up and up and up and up and up and gain confidence in reading. So I knew that a multisensory approach would work, or at least I wanted to try it, because in my brain I was thinking it would probably work. And it did. And so this student that I was talking about with the visual impairment really did improve in reading. Now, she didn't get to grade level because she was so far behind, but she definitely got over a year better during a year's time. So she was definitely on the right track moving. And I thought in my mind, I bet you a multisensory approach for math would work too. Because if it worked in reading and her brain is absorbing more knowledge with a multisensory approach, I think it would work in math. So I suggested it in the ARD meeting. She needs a multisensory, and I even gave them, I think it was 8 different resources or curriculums or whatever that the school could choose from, the district could choose from, for students with dyscalculia. Dyscalculia is they've got a math disability. Well, she had a math disability, but they were saying, well, the math disability is related to the vision impairment. And I was like, yeah, it is. Let's try a multisensory, curriculum for it. And they were like, well, no, because she needs something for the visual impairment, and the thing that's causing her to not be doing well in math is the vision impairment. I was like, you're right, but listen to me, she's not doing well in math. She's not doing well in math. She is presenting with a math disability, which is dyscalculia, and it doesn't matter how it's happening, it's happening. And we fought tooth and nail, and I wrote letters, and I went up the chain and up the chain and up the chain, all the way up to the superintendent of the whole school district. I asked the superintendent of the school district to release funds so that this kiddo could have a curriculum in order to be successful in school. And I thought that was a reasonable request. I wasn't asking for the moon, I was just asking for, hey, look in your district and see if anybody has this program or something similar that's a multisensory approach to, for teaching math to students with educational access failures in this case, math. And it was crickets. And the ARD committee wanted to continue to argue with me that it wasn't a math problem, it was a vision problem. And I kept saying, and the parents kept saying, yeah, but the vision problem is why she can't understand the math. She could see individual numbers, but when you put a long number together, like say that it was in the millions and every number was different, she couldn't process that. because the numbers were too close together for her to see and individualize. And then even if she was picking it out, going, okay, now that's a 1, and that's a 7 or a 2. Let me see. And for me, it's like the 6 and the 8. It's like, because I've got to put my glasses on. Like, is it a 6 or an 8? But she was doing that, and by working so hard and trying to figure out what it was, she didn't recognize, she didn't have the capacity in her brain to understand what that number meant. She could read the number, but she didn't understand how big the number was, and she was having trouble with ratios and like fractions were giving a hard time. Like when I say 1/2, you automatically know what 1/2 looks like. Okay, so you're cutting something. You're cutting something in half. Maybe it's half a cake. Maybe it's half a sandwich. Maybe half a pizza. We do the pizza thing all the time. How many pieces do you usually get in a large pizza? 8. You've cut it into 8 pieces. And how do you do that? We do that all the time. But her capacity for that kind of thinking isn't there because she can't visualize it in her brain. I went to the Perkins Institute and I found out about the that exact thing, and I was like, I knew it, and it made me madder. It made me, I was joyful in that now I know about accessing, and I'm really, really wanting to get my hands on a multisensory math program for this student to try and see if we see any positive benefit from it. And I think we would, but that would be like those math manipulatives, not just the number on the page or the number on the computer screen, oh my gosh, but to actually have math manipulatives, those little Cuisenaire rods or those little templates, like when you're doing the fractions and you can actually put the pieces of pizza together, to see that 8 pieces can fit together and make a whole. All of those things I think would be helpful for her. That's what I want to do, or I hope that the outcome is with the program that I'm developing for you guys, so that within 90 days we've got a pretty good clue as to what's working or not, because we have visited it and tweaked it 4 different times. I thought about this one student and all the struggles that she was having, believing that if a multisensory program for phonics and for reading would work, then a multisensory program for math has a good chance of working too. And then from there, you're able to move forward, and we see that line graph going up. I'm going to have a graph set up for you guys to have the baseline of where the kid is now. And I'll also have another one, another line graph, probably overlaying that is where the peers in the same grade are. And so it's going to be in 2 different places. And what we're hoping is that the trend line for the student that I am working with, with the client that I am working with, that the trend line will start picking up a little bit. And it may not catch up with the grade level students, but to see any progress at all is progress. And that's what I'm looking forward to, and that's what I do, and that is the joy of my heart. That is my passion. That is my calling. That's what I do, and I would love to work with you and your child.